Neapolitan pizza. This is the OG that started it all in 18th century Naples, back when people actually ate food instead of just taking pictures of it for Instagram. It was originally a cheap street food for the working class, but today, purists treat its preparation like a sacred religious ritual. To be legit, it must be baked in a wood-fired oven for a hyper-specific 90 seconds, featuring San Marzano tomatoes that probably had a better upbringing than most of us. The center is intentionally wet and floppy, meaning you can't even hold it properly, but at least the charred, puffy crust looks great on your feed. New York-style pizza. Born in Manhattan in the early 1900s, this slice was practically engineered for people who are running late to a job that doesn't pay them enough. Italian immigrants adapted their recipes to local tap water and coal ovens, creating a massive, flexible crust designed to be folded in half. It is dripping with grease, topped with low-moisture mozzarella, and eaten while walking briskly down the street, pretending to avoid eye contact with everyone. It is the ultimate midnight comfort food for a generation that uses doom scrolling as a coping mechanism. Chicago deep dish pizza. Invented in 1943, this is less of a pizza and more of a savory pool party inside a bread bowl. Because it takes so long to bake, chefs had to put the cheese at the bottom and the chunky tomato sauce on top to prevent a culinary disaster, completely defying the laws of nature. Eating one requires a knife, a fork, and a firm commitment to canceling all your plans for the next 12 hours due to an inevitable food coma. It is highly controversial, mostly because New Yorkers refuse to accept a casserole as a personality trait. Sicilian pizza. Known in Italy as sfincione, this thick, rectangular style came from Palermo and survived the journey to America to become the savior of childhood birthday parties. The dough is thick, spongy, and absorbs olive oil like a sponge absorbs water, giving it a comforting focaccia-like vibe. In the US, it evolved into a dense square with a massive layer of cheese hiding underneath the sauce. It is the perfect choice when your anxiety tells you that a thin crust simply isn't enough emotional support for a Friday night. Detroit-style pizza. The square masterpiece was born in 1946 when a tavern owner decided to bake dough inside blue steel utility trays borrowed from local automotive factories. The result is a thick, airy crust with Wisconsin brick cheese spread all the way to the edges, creating a crispy, caramelized perimeter that people will genuinely fight over. It is basically a glow-up story in pizza form, going from a literal car part to the internet's favorite aesthetic food trend, grandma pizza. Originating in the home kitchens of Long Island, this style represents the ultimate "we have food at home" energy before that phrase became a meme. It was baked by Italian immigrants in standard household sheet pans because no one had a fancy brick oven in their suburban kitchen. The crust is thin, dense, and rushed, topped with a rustic splattering of crushed tomatoes and garlic. It tastes like generational nostalgia and a reminder that you really should call your family more often. Roman pizza. Popularly sold as pizza al taglio or pizza by the slice, this is Italy's answer to the fast-paced modern hustle. It is baked in long trays and cut with actual scissors, allowing you to buy it by weight based on how much student loan debt stress you are experiencing that day. The dough undergoes a long fermentation process, making it incredibly light and airy, which is perfect for pretending you are eating a healthy, low-carb meal when you definitely are not. St. Louis-style pizza. Developed in the mid-20th century, this style actively chooses violence by completely rejecting every traditional pizza rule. The crust is entirely yeast-free, baking into a thin, ultra-crunchy cracker that snaps when you bite it. It is topped with provolone, a processed cheese blend that melts into a sticky, smoky paste that clings to the roof of your mouth. It is always cut into squares, mostly because trying to fold a cracker would probably cause a glitch in the matrix. New Haven-style pizza, nationally known as a pizza, this Connecticut regional specialty is intensely charred to the point where an uninformed TikTok reviewer would definitely complain that it is burnt. Baked in coal ovens that operate at temperatures hotter than a summer heat wave, it is asymmetry at its finest. A standard pie doesn't even come with mozzarella unless you explicitly ask for it, forcing you to advocate for yourself in a restaurant setting, which we all know is a millennial's worst nightmare.